embed all the intelligence in JDE or in Easy Wine. You could have easily said that we know how to deal with these systems. We've got a lot of knowledge around these systems. We're going to put it all in one of these core applications. But he made a decision to say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I actually want to lift it up a level. I want to lift it up a level. And the reason why I want to lift it up a level, it helps me do things easier. The turnaround time is much quicker. Also, I am now not tied to any one of these applications. I'm also much freer to make other acquisitions, make changes to my applications landscape. I'm actually taking the risk away and I'm able to make things happen quicker. And so the words resilience and agility, they're no longer words here. They're real things. And that's part of the journey I've been able to observe it and pick that up. So going through some of those stages that Ryan, articulated before, the first thing is actually to say, how do I get my core apps exposed? And that's where I talked about identifying what are those business touch points. What are those business touch points? And then how do I get them so they can work within a process? And a process with exceptions, because most of us know 80% of the time is spent managing exceptions. And then how do you get this real-time monitoring across the process? And then Ryan talked about SOA tuning. That's where we talk about automatic fixing of the processes or self-healing. So working through those 4 stages. And then I've got that little question at the bottom, and so where does governance fit? So I'm happy to talk about that with people offline. So to go through that. Now, do we have to articulate all of that to the business? Probably not. Probably what we may articulate is that we want to get this project out that's around automating business processes. The key benefit to you, the business, is that you'll have a real-time dashboard on what's there. So it's a matter of what do you articulate. And do I need to talk about SOA? Probably not to the business. It's more about understanding as an IT professional, what do I need to do to get what I need up and going to make my job easier over time? So let's go through what the Oracle Fusion middleware looks like. So the first thing I'll talk about is the application server. The application server, it's a J2E based engine. We've got the market leading J2E based engine with our acquisition, the BEA acquisition, the WebLogic server. The WebLogic server and the old Oracle application server are able to take advantage of what we call grid computing, whether it's big boxes or little boxes, or how to bring those together to make them look like a set of utility resources. The benefit we've got with this J2E architecture is that things like SOA, content management, right through to user interaction, they're just J2E applications themselves. And hence, that's the way in which we provide those capabilities. I like to call this my Swiss Army knife. I've always got my Swiss Army knife in my back pocket. Whatever business problem I've got to deal with, I use my Swiss Army knife. The benefit of my Swiss Army knife right from the beginning is right now my problem is related to business intelligence. Down the track, I find out there's an additional need. It's around content or it's around integration. How lucky am I? I've still got my Swiss Army knife. And that's the key benefit. Oracle has done the research and development to work out how does the Swiss Army knife work together. And that's the thing, I've been in Oracle since '89. One of the cool things about Oracle is that we've got a bunch of research and development people that work out how do I make it easy to take this through and make it real. And so with all of these acquisitions, like I said, been there for a while, I was actually worried, how do I absorb this and take all this on? The cool thing is Oracle's thought about it very, very well. And it's like a Swiss Army knife. It's not like a hammer over here and a spanner over there. Other organisations, they make those acquisitions and they're not engineered. The decision was more based around a business decision rather than an engineering decision. Obviously, Oracle is making a commercial and business decision, but do not underestimate the engineering thought that's gone through that. And the other areas I'll mention here, built into this stack is our identity management environment. We've got enterprise management that you can see exactly what's running at any point in time, and we've got the development tools so you can use exactly the same development capabilities that our application developers are using back at Redwood Shores. So what you're seeing here is the pedigree of Fusion applications, and you can start to dip your toe in there as well. Let's focus specifically on the technology that Ryan has looked at. And you know, we're talking about wine, and the way in which I remember what's in our SOA capability is CROGV, C-R-O-G-V. So it's about connecting, it's about routing and data transformation, it's around orchestration, it's around governance, it's around visibility. So let's have a look at that capability. So I've said that the SOA and process management capability is just like a J2EE application. So that's where it runs. The first thing is around connectivity that I talked about. So how do you connect things, or how do you make things connectable? How do you actually get the documents moving around, the bits of data moving around, whether it's a single document or a single transaction, or whether it's a chunk of data. So we've got two different solutions there. Something around pumping chunks of data, or federating, or keeping your catalogues in sync, or specifically around single data transport. Then we've actually got the orchestration. So you can see this connectivity, the routing and the orchestration. How do we do the orchestration? So we've got our capabilities there. We then have our governance capability. So how do we make sure we're doing this in an appropriate manner? We then also have our visibility capability. And then finally, we've got our process modelling and development capabilities there. Now, do you need to buy all of that? And the answer is no. That's one of the key benefits with the approach that Ryan's taken on board. You only have to buy one chunk at a time, get the business benefit, show it to the business, and then make another commitment at a time. So it's one chunk at a time working through that. So the actual I'll talk about a couple of the specific products is once again the business activity monitoring, and I think I've got a screen here that shows that. So based upon one of the early specification, this is one of the example screens that some of the business people are looking at here. So this is where are your orders? So where are they at the moment? And are your orders on time? And then you can see the scorecard there, profit, cost, quantity, carbon and service. Now it's actually really unusual in most projects that one of the original specifications actually looks anywhere similar to one of the actual screens that is put in production. And so there's a lot of kudos to Ryan that things actually look quite similar there. So that's pretty much it from me. Just giving you an idea about the journey we've had with AVL and Renewtek, an introduction of the approach that Ryan has taken. It hasn't been a technology-driven approach. It's more about how do you actually use the business benefits to drive what the technology is there. And then also the way in which we've taken on this project, how we've been able to then hand it or work very closely with Renewtek, which Peter's going to take us through.